Okay, everyone, this here is Theron, and this is going to be the first video for my YouTube channel. And what better way to start it than with everyone's favorite day, chest day. Alright, so I'm starting out with the barbell bench press first off, and I'm doing 8 sets of 2. And my reasoning for this is I can get a good amount of rep work in, high amount of volume, while still working very close to my 1 rep max range. And these are a little bit under, it's about 88% of my 1 rep max, so it's a manageable weight, nothing too hard. But it got harder progressively as I got deeper into the sets. I think around set 5 they started getting a little difficult. But until then they started cruising. I had no problems with staying tight. Everything was going good, staying tight the eccentric phase. Just my lockout, which is where my bench is the weakest, started getting a little tough. I think around this next set 5, I start slowing down on my lockout on my second rep. My first rep flew on every set, but staying tight wasn't an issue. And you can see I'm not using a spotter. I feel like I can get a lot tighter if I don't have a spotter. I can really drive my traps into the bench when I arch up and really get into position a lot better. And I mean, it's not much of a movement for me to get the bar off the clips for this bench press, because if you watch, it's just a little, just gotta get a little flexion in my elbows and I can raise the bar off the pins. So this is set 7, set 8, final set. Not too difficult, nothing too hard. Got this guy admiring me, checking me out like, damn, this kid needs to get on my level. He's pretty strong for an old dude. He keeps putting in that work every day. But moving on, I got to floor presses, and you'll see one side goes up a little quicker than the other, and I start looking back and forth. I actually hit one more rep, but my friend stopped filming. And the thing with that was because my friend Julio, he is trying to kill me. He's got me fucked up. He'll put more weight on one side and hope I don't notice and hope I hurt myself. So that was the issue. There was like 10 more pounds on my right side than my left. So we fixed it, started doing some more floor pressing. And I'm not gonna lie, this was my first time ever floor pressing, and this is a very hard exercise. I had a hard time doing it. It took me a minute to get in my groove. Found it easier if I just kind of place my elbows on the ground and let them rest for like a half second and then drive through, rather than just kind of bumping my elbows to the ground and coming up. The one thing is on my descent, I really had to focus on keeping my wrists stacked over my elbow, because my first few reps that wasn't the case, and I was kind of like folding in. My arm was folding in a little bit because I'm not used to stopping right there. But I would definitely say this is harder than the bench press. I'm doing 230 here for 5x5, and it was just extremely hard. I think because the leg drive's taken out of the equation, I'm not able to get that natural arch in my back. I got my traps driven into the ground, but I'm not getting my arch going. So I can definitely see how this exercise will help me in the long run. I usually do just overhead press and close grip bench press for my bench accessories, and I figured I need to kind of expand my horizon, or whatever you want to call it, and try new things. And I think I'm gonna keep trying these out and adding them in over time, along with the close grip and overhead press, because I do like them. They're challenging. Definitely feel my triceps working a lot and my chest getting activated a lot. And right here, this one was a grinder. It was a little tough, but we got her out. And I sped up the rest of the video right here just because me doing a lot of rep work. I did my first 2 exercises with some low reps, so I figure I can make up the rep work here with my overhead press. Now my overhead press has never been anything too impressive. I've never really trained my overhead press until probably 4 months ago. I really started emphasizing it, and one issue was my form. I would have my elbows too far out to the side of me, and I wouldn't keep them inside on my pushes. You can see my elbows are in front of me until about my walkout, and when I used to do this exercise, they'd be almost to the side of me the whole time, and I just don't feel comfortable doing like that. I like keeping them nice in front of me and almost kind of landing my triceps into my lats. I feel comfortable, I get a lot of drive from there, and I don't get any type of shoulder pain. And as for my hands are just outside of my shoulders. And I'm supersetting my overhead press with push-ups, and these start getting very hard. I think after my 3rd set, I'm only able to push out like 6, maybe 7. Just to keep getting that extra rep work in. All these they weren't hard, they were just exhausting. 95 is a pretty low weight for me, but for 4 sets of 15, they're a little exhausting, especially when I'm pairing them with these push-ups. Push-ups were what got really hard. Look at that, back starts caving forward. So next we get some incline dumbbell pressing work. Need to get some unilateral work going. Did a lot of bilateral. I did these for very lightweight as well. I think I'm only doing 45s right here, and I paired these with side lateral raises. I like doing my side lateral raises in my elbow. It's got a pretty good bend. I wouldn't say it's a 90-degree bend, but it's pretty close to it. And when I'm doing my side lateral raises, I really think about just raising my elbow up. I'm not lifting my hand, if that makes any sense. I'm just moving my elbow, and I'm trying not to shrug my shoulder up. I notice a lot of people when they start doing the side lateral raise, they're picking up their entire shoulder, their scapula, and their traps, like shrugging up to their ears. So if I could give any advice on that, I'd say just do some really low weight. I'm only doing 20 right here, just using 20 pounds, then drop setting to 15 to get some extra rep work in. But back to the advice. If I could give you any advice for the lateral raise, I'd say use some really low weight and focus on just moving that shoulder and thinking about your elbow is what's raising the weight up. That's it. Because I'm telling you, you'll feel a massive difference. And most of it can be mobility. If people don't have a lot of shoulder mobility, it might be a little tough. But over time, with corrected form, getting some shoulder mobility, you'll be able to do them properly. This is my 3rd set, I believe. I'm doing 4 sets here just for failure reps. I'm starting out with the 45-pound dumbbells, going to 50, 55, and then 60. And I think I go up to the 25-pound dumbbells for the raises, and I continue to drop back down to 15. The 25s so I can get a little bit of heavier weight, still go for like 5 to 6 reps, and then these I'll punch out like 5 to 6 more, I believe. So I'm still getting the rep work in, still working with heavier weight, and keeping going. The rest time is very short between these. Me and my friend go back to back on these. We don't take a lot of time with I would call them accessory work. And I wouldn't call them like primary accessory work. I would think primary accessory work would be like the floor press and overhead press, but just some added stuff to put to it. We go back to back on these. We don't take up a lot of time, really waste a lot of time doing these. But for my next 2 exercises, I do the low cable flies. I do low cable flies first because they're a little bit harder. I like to do all the harder exercises and then get easier as my workout progresses. And I pair my low cable flies with reverse grip pull downs. I've probably done reverse grip pull downs 10 days in my entire 10 years of lifting. Decided to do them today because that handlebar was there, so I just said screw it, I'll do them. And then when I do my high cable flies, I pair them with kickbacks. I did 4 sets on each of these, both exercises to failure. I did these to failure, the pull downs to failure, the flies to failure, or the high cable flies to failure, and then the kickbacks to failure. But this is like I said, it's my first YouTube video. Don't expect super fancy edits. You're just gonna see some raw workouts, raw commentary, probably some days of eating, and we'll see where it goes from here. But hope you guys like this video. Let's start building up the channel. So like, subscribe, comment. If you got any critiquing on my editing, please give it to me, because this is my first time editing the video. Appreciate whoever's watching this, and thank you.